If you've ever wired an electrical switch like this in, you may be thinking it's super simple. There's only a couple of little screws, a couple of wires, and that's it. But there are actually several built-in features on most switches that make the job a lot easier. Today, I'm going to show you what electricians know and use that most DIYers have no idea even exist. All right, so let's take a quick look at a switch. So in its simplest terms, guys, a switch is simply going to shut the power off to some type of a load. That can be a light, it could be a fan, but it's just simply going to turn that power on or off. If you compare that to a receptacle actually is going to power some type of an external device, something outside of the grid. And when I say grid, it's going to have a neutral and it's going to have a hot. Hot is going to power the actual device. Neutral is going to return that power back to the grid. So the power is going to come out this little notch, go through, say, your blow dryer, come back through the neutral and back into the grid. So how does that make this different, though, as far as wiring? If you notice on a receptacle, I'm going to have hots on this side, which are going to be my copper color. And I'm going to have the white wires on this side, which are going to be the neutrals. When I say white wires, I look at the silver, which is close to white, and the actual neutral wires are always white. And I do have a earth ground as well. Now, when I look at this switch over here, I only have the copper colored hots. I do not have a neutral. The neutrals are going to actually be wire nutted inside of the box. They're not going to go through the switch at all. The only thing the switch is going to do is it's going to cut the power to the device or supply the power to the device. The simplest way for me to explain that is through a plumbing device. Almost everyone understands how water flows. This is going to be a quarter turn shutoff for, say, a toilet. And if I turn it this way with the little arrow or the little front of my knob facing this small line, it means that it is on. Right now there's a little ball valve in here and it is allowing water to flow through this bigger side and through the side going to the toilet. If I turn it this way, I have just stopped the water flow. So this valve is either going to allow water to flow or it's going to shut it off. It's the same thing with electricity. You just can't see the electricity. So when I am in the down position, this is going to be my line. This is the hot wire coming in, and coming out this top, if I flip the switch up, it allows the electricity to flow through to that side, and it's going to go to the load, which would be the light. So when I'm wiring these up, I always look really close to figure out what is the top. This one is going to have it marked at the top here, and it's also printed the name at the bottom. So I know that I'm not going to install it with the name upside down. So it's going to be like that. And I know that the bottom is down. If you look at a traditional switch, you see that it says off, you are in the down position. If I flip it up, I'm in the on position. You don't always see that though with these, so you have to find where it says top. Now, you can also look at your grounds and think that, well, maybe that'll tell me, but that's not necessarily true because my ground here is going to be on the top. My ground on this one is at the bottom. So you need to look at the orientation. And the way I always remember, though, how it wires is in the down position, just like my water valve, the water is coming in, or in this case, the electricity is coming in through the bottom screw. So I know that it goes there, and I know my lights, which are up in the ceiling, are going to be in the upper position. So I will wire that wire there. So it's easy for me to actually remember that. So now let's go ahead and let's flip it over, and let's take a look at some of the cool features on the back that you may or may not know. So the first thing that you're going to look at when you're looking at this is how many ways can I wire this up? This particular switch has 3 ways. It has a quick wire, it has a back wire, and it has a side wire. And I'm going to show you each one of those and how it works. The first one is going to be what's called quick wire. And if you look back here, you have a hole right here and you have one here. That's going to correspond with each one of the tie-in screws here. But instead of using the screws, you're just going to take the wire and you simply put it in until it locks into place. Now, one thing you need to keep in mind with these, if you are using 12 gauge wire, not 14, you cannot use the quick wire. You're going to have to use a 14 to make that work. If you have the 12, you can use either one of the next two methods I'm going to show you. All right, so now you've got these in. You're just simply going to click one in here, click one in here, and you're ready to rock and roll. You turn around, use the screws, put it into place. Say you make a mistake, how am I going to get this out? Now, the way I get them out, I like to put it on a flat surface like this, and you're going to see right by the wire, there's another slot. Push that down, and you can just lift out, and it removes the wire. I see guys struggle with that a lot. For one, they're trying to use a screwdriver that's too big, so make sure you have something like, this and all. You can push it in there and take it out very, quickly. All right, so let's move on to number two. Number two is going to be the back wire. Now, you're going to automatically assume that because these are in the back, they would be called back wire, but they literally call those quick wire because it's so quick. The back wire has a back plate right here, and it has two notches. You can see the two notches here. So you can literally take your wire and you can place it right there, just like that, and behind the plate, and now I can screw that in. There we go. And now we are ready to rock and roll. It is in place, okay? So we would do the same thing on both wires. Put it back in and you're good to go. Now the last one is my favorite. It takes a little more time, but it's the one that I like to use. And that is simply going to be taking the wire, and it's called side wiring. I like to do a little pre-bend. I get right in the middle, bend it a little, and I'll bend a little more, just like that. And I simply hook it on right here. Now I will bend this to 3/4 of the way closed. You can go further if you like, but 3/4 is generally going to give you everything that you need. That's pretty good right there. And always make sure the wire is going in the direction of the turn. So righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. So the hook needs to go to the right. If you go to the left, it's going to try to unwind it. Tighten it up. Actually, there we go. And we are now locked into place. So it's that easy. So that is the three different methods. The next thing I want to show you real quick before we move on is going to be the grounding screw. Now, a lot of guys I see will take and wrap this wire all the way around, or they'll use this to start it and bend it, which is fine, but they'll wrap it all the way around and then try to tighten it down, and they struggle. It likes to come off. If you look real closely, you're going to see that on most of these switches, there's a little spot here. It's another little hole. It's right, I don't know if you can actually see it in the light, but it is right there. So what you do is you're literally going to take your wire and you're going to push it down in that hole, and you have a holding bar at the top. You bend it over a little, hold it back, and now I'm going to tighten it. There we go. And that's all you need to do. You do not have to wrap that thing all the way around. It holds it right there in that little hole, and it makes contact at your actual grounding screw. All right, so let's take that out. All right, so the next thing I want to show you is going to be this little area right here. And this is a stripping guide. What that means is basically I'm going to take I'm going to do this one here because this one has both, okay? I'm going to take this and I'm going to put it across here. What I would do before I cut it is I would hold a thumb here, put it on here, find where it is, and I would strip that. Come back and check it. It's supposed to be 5/8. By going 5/8, that's the perfect depth for your quick wire and it's the perfect depth for the actual back wire on the side. Now, this is where there's a little controversy. I get a lot of guys saying I have stripped back too far when I do the actual side wire. If you read your instructions real closely, you're going to see that you're supposed to be 3/4 of a way around the actual screw. And actually on this switch, it even tells you point blank that if you're doing a side wire, it needs to be 3/4 of an inch, not the 5/8. So you would literally make this further. And in my case, if I look at my guide, this one I've already stripped. It goes up to there's another little line down there. It goes directly to that line. That way I know I have that the correct way. And what I'm going to do with this is I'm simply going to start it again, just like this. I start in the middle, do a little bend, go to the end, bend it over just a little more, just like that. You can even go a little further than that, might make it a little easier. And then we're going to take and put it on, just like that. Now, there is a way to take this and kind of bend it, the wire that's on here. Some of these have little stays. This particular one does not really have those stays. The same kind of little stay like this. Some of them will have them on the side here, and you don't have to use the needle nose. You'll just start it there, bend it around, and lock it in place. Now, we need to be 3/4 of a way shut. Right now, we're only lucky if we're half. So we got to bend it a little more. That's at least 3/4. That's probably more like 90. So we're doing really good there. And we're now going to put it in place, just like that. And then take this one off, and you're good to go. If you found this helpful, the next thing you're going to want to know is, how do I actually wire this up inside of an electrical box? My next video, I'm going to wire this switch and this receptacle in using the correct connections and even pigtails. So hit the little video up above so that you can see that video. And as always, I appreciate you guys watching.